So today we are going to be going over the evolution of Roblox guns. Now all my other evolution videos have done so well I decided to do another one, so let me know in the comments what kind of evolution I should do next. Now let's just jump right into it. Starting out in 2006 we have Doomspire Brick Battle. Now this game doesn't really have many guns, but the only gun it really does have is this nice bazooka. And if we shoot this gun, you know, it's pretty simple. You got a nice little brick going on. There really isn't anything really going on here. It really is just quite literally the bare minimum. Like the rockets are just literal Lego studs, which is pretty cool. Now here we are in 2008 and we see the first sniper rifle from Underground Wars. As you see, really isn't that much of a sniper rifle. It's more of like a really scuffed model just put into Roblox, which for 2008 got the job done. As you see, there really is no sniper scope. Your sniper scope is actually just your reticle, which is kind of funny and kind of weird. But from this point on, guns start getting a lot more interesting. So here we are in 2008, and this is one of my personal favorite games of all time. This is called Paintball by Daxter33. This game is pretty revolutionary. Now, the reason why I'm including it on the list because not only are there hit markers, but this is also the first instance I could find of an ADS being in the game. If you press Q, there actually is an ADS, which I never used because why would you use the objectively worse aiming system? But it's the thought that counts, and that transitions us to our next game. Here we go. Now, this next game is pretty crazy. Here we are in 2009, and I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this game is, called Robloxia. Now, this game, for obvious reasons, was extremely revolutionary. Now, this game was made by Stylus Studios, or I think just really Lido. This is really the first game to have the really FPS arcade shooter type thing going on here. Just like Paintball, there is an ADS, but this ADS is actually somewhat functionable and actually usable. Now, this is one of the best Roblox games of all time, obviously, and it goes down in history as one of the most revolutionary Roblox games of all time, too. But it shows kind of how far we've come in the past 3 years. So what kind of list would this be if I didn't mention the legendary Apocalypse Rising? Now, this game was one of the most influential Roblox games of all time, released in 2012. And it really is the first game of its time to really introduce the zombie survival to this level. I remember playing this game when I was really young, and I was like blown away by this, and I sucked at this game. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I absolutely sucked at this game. But it was really fun. Having the ability to kill other people or team up with people and survive is honestly something really cool and really well made for its time. Now, obviously, in current standards, this game looks kind of doo-doo, but for 2012, pretty dang good. But the guns are really kind of bare bones here, and there's not really much to the guns. They have basic ADSing, but the models and all that stuff really aren't that much. There really isn't that much recoil, and it really is trying to emphasize the survival genre rather than the first-person shooter aspect. So let's move on to our next game. So here we are in 2014, and this is Phantom Forces. I think everyone knows what this game is. This is the staple FPS shooter for Roblox in general. This is the 2022 version of this game, so it doesn't really show the bare bones work of the guns, but maybe I'll show up some images right here of what they look like. And the funny part is, Phantom Forces is still relevant to this day, being one of the most popular shooters of all time on Roblox. It has fostered its own competitive scene and inspired many Roblox games to come. When you think of Roblox shooter, you're always thinking of Phantom Forces, really no matter what it is. And I would say Phantom Forces is probably my favorite Roblox game of all time, period. I mean, this game is just truly amazing. So here we are in 2017 playing Apocalypse Rising 2. Now, me personally, I've never played Apocalypse Rising 2, but I have heard a lot of things about it. But the controversy of this game doesn't really matter because we're just here talking about the guns. Now, from Apocalypse Rising 1, this game is a pretty big step up. It has reload animations, cool guns, all that sort of stuff, but compared to Phantom Forces, this really isn't that crazy, but I thought I'd just include it because there's kind of a big gap between Phantom Forces and all the other games out here. I thought I would include something from 2017 just to fill the gap a little bit, which that brings us to 2019. The release of Bad Business came out, and this game is basically everything Phantom Forces wanted to be but couldn't be. This game obviously has a clearly different art style from Phantom Forces, but also kind of gives that realistic feel with some of the guns. It combines the best parts of Phantom Forces and puts their own spin on it. I would say that for 2019, this game's pretty good. Not one of my personal favorites. I don't really like Bad Business that much just because of the time to kill. With the release of their attachment update, this game went from being like semi-decent to being like, wow, pretty good for Roblox. I wouldn't say their gunplay is better than Phantom Forces, but for 2019, the graphics of the guns and just the overall gun physics are way better than Phantom Forces. Which brings us to the best FPS of all time, Adopt Me. Adopt Me features plenty of things in FPSs like great guns, trading. Okay, the joke really isn't that funny. Which brings us to current day Phantom Forces. Now, in this day and age, there is a lot of FPS games, and I mean a lot, and all of them doing their own cool thing, but I'm gonna mention one of my personal favorites, Deadline over here, because this game is unlike any other game. This game is a realistic milsim shooter, and it takes everything about guns and puts them inside Roblox. This is by far the most realistic game I've ever seen on Roblox and is honestly phenomenal. Now, this is by no means an arcade shooter, and this is not for the faint of heart. With the realistic gunplay, it is pretty hard to get used to, but once you get used to it, it honestly is really, really fun. But if milsims aren't your thing, then you can try out something more arcadey like gun testing. Now, these guns are just absolutely insane. How do we go from this to this? It's honestly insane how far Roblox has come over the past 16 years, and it really shows the evolution of Roblox. Now, I put a lot of work into this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!